When the cat's away, the mice will play. Larry is off running around somewhere in South Africa trying to find a wife, trying to find a witch doctor, whatever, man. So you got me, Ciru Muriuki. Yes, I know. I look so different thanks to this gorgeous outfit by Kidosho. Yeah, don't worry, you'll have me dressing back next week like a witch because I'm always in black. But this week, I'm in charge. This is my show. Welcome to TTTT. And of course, the gang is back. Anita Nderu is in the building.
I missed you. Do you know, I was waiting for Larry's voice and then I saw you. I was like, oh my God,
Hey! Hi! And then, of course, Butita is in. Where's Butita? He's there
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives
For
Matter.
once,
I
Butita,
know.
you're not alone. You're two of you.
No, Njugush is in the light. Njugush.
Yes.
Welcome. Karibu sana.
Nashukuru sana.
We should be bringing Butita there with you so that, of course, people can see
Unajua
you.
mimi sikuwa najua yako, nilikuwa nafikiria unajua photo grid. Nilikuwa nafikiria yako ni kale ka photo grid hapo.
Butita aja nikwambie.
Video grid.
It's very hard for someone in darkness to see someone in the light. It's very hard.
Na kwanza umekuwa studio na Ciru.
I'm shedding light.
Ulikuwa unataka tuwe na wewe. Shame on you.
Ciru.
I'm shedding light on this subject.
Njugush.
I never.
Tutafikiria umevaa tai.
Wewe tuendelee kile kilituleta hapa.
Yenyewe, as in, because this guy is so used to being the one on the hot seat. Njugush amekam, amesema bas ni wewe. Anyway, let's get down to work. Remember at the beginning of this week, there was a brand new most eligible bachelor in Kenya. One extremely lucky Kenyan this week had all the stress he possibly could have in the world taken away after a 200 bob investment multiplied 1 million times over. That's right, Samuel Abisai walked away with 221 million shillings and became Kenya's most eligible bachelor. Look at him, he's like a really short guy, but you know, you're very tall when you're standing on 221 million shillings. Now, of course, he won by predicting 17 matches correctly on Sports Pesa. I don't know how you do. I can't even predict one. This guy did 17 in a row. That's how he walked away with this money. So, of course, he is an overnight dollar millionaire because if you translate this to US dollars, it's $2 million. So not only is he a Kenyan millionaire many times over, even though in the Maju, Bado, he'll be rich. So of course, Kenyans had all kinds of ideas of how he should spend the money, and I'm sure the panel has hella ideas. Njugush, if someone called you and told you, by the way, 221 million, besha fadi, have something.
Hii kitu nilifanyia hesabu, hata sitaki kufikiria kile ningefanya. Fanya hii hesabu, chukua 21 million. Weka nazo nyuma, fanya kile utafanya. Kuna Radrod najua amekibiza Abisai. Huyo Radrod Abisai akiamua kila asubuhi na jioni anamchapa kofi moja. Hizo ni 2,000, atamchapa hivyo for the next 273 years. That's how much 221 million is.
You know, I find it very surprising and disturbing that you translate money into slaps. Anita, can you see this vibe?
Ciru. As soon as that guy got that cash, suddenly everyone was like, you guy, I know this Jama. This guy is one of my friends. This guy is my neighbor. This is the guy who Siju used to work with. It's interesting how as soon as you become an instant millionaire, everyone suddenly remembers how they know you. But the first thing I said was, if I was him, get a new number. You cannot have the same number and you have that kind of money.
Never.
Everybody will come with all their problems and then go to a dark, quiet corner somewhere, sit down and strategize for like an entire week. And then when you come out of there, go and spend some of that money.
Let me ask you, Anita, personally. You personally, individually, yourself.
Mimi kama mimi.
Wewe kama wewe, Anita Nderu. What would you do with your first 10 million? Because even though you spent 10 million, you still have 211 million left. So what would you do with the first 10 million?
Oh my God. Jesus, I don't know. You're giving me pressure thinking about such kind of things. Why are you doing this to me, Ciru? All those websites that have always just been window shopping will see me in I don't even have the word because I've never thought of such things.
They will see you
today. They will see me in plenty for the next 1 week as I just buy all the things I've always wanted. As I say this, my mother, wherever she is, must be so ashamed. She's like, hata sadaka
Hata
hautafikiria kutoa
yeah,
kwanza,
tithe.
you know. But yeah, I think I'd honestly change my number one, and then just spend a week. And first of all, I'd look for a decoy. I can't allow them to market me like that. Actually, the entire Kenya knows I'm the one who won that money.
You get a
Of course
look-alike.
not.
Like
I'll
an
pay someone else
African
to say they
dictator.
won it, and then I'll sit quietly with my cash.
Yeah, Butita, now wewe unaweza toa fungu la 10 kwanza. Si kama kina Anita. Fungu la 10 tithe.
Hiyo ni lazima.
Lakini ujue fungu la 10 ni 20 million.
Ni sawa. Hiyo
Okay.
pesa hukukuwa nayo.
Of course.
Kanisa hiyo 10%.
Yeah.
Kwanza Ciru, nakumbuka
niambie.
ilikuwa Monday. Vile bro alinipigia akaniambia tumewahi kitu. Personally nilikuwa na furaha sana juu life yetu. Ukiangalia, hebu leta hiyo picha.
Nyinyi na bro
bro.
Okay. Siko nimeshikanisha
Leta
lakini
hiyo picha.
sasa ndio nimepata.
Aya,
Nimenyita.
Ciru, hebu zoom wa mse producer. Hebu zoom wa mtu.
Abisai.
Niambie kama hizi mapua azipua nani.
Lakini hatumuoni, that is the only proof we need.
Hebu check hiyo mapua. This guy was poor. But sasa ako na dola.
Get out. Get out.
Ciru. Ndio time nasema nga. Afadhali currency yetu at least 221 million. Unaweza fanyia kitu.
Yeah.
Kuna jamaa alishinda 221 million Zimbabwe. Nina ilikata anaweza buy tu. So at least to appreciate currency angalau.
Yeah, lazima
Zambia umse pia.
From time to time we have things to be grateful for.
Pesa ukuja.
Things to be thankful for. But then speaking of being thankful and being appreciative, or lack thereof, do you know that back in 2011, Samuel, this guy the new millionaire, slid into someone's DMs. He was looking for Caro. And ended up talking to himself. You know how it is, yeah? Like when you're talking to a girl on Facebook and you're just saying, hi, please, thanks, please. He was talking to himself. Now, after hitting the 221 million sports pesa jackpot at Jacob, even me nimechanganyikiwa, Carol Morala showed up with screenshots of the conversation whereby now the new eligible bachelor was clearly speaking to himself in the inbox. I wonder if she's feeling a kaudo something, a kaudo retro beat.
Ciru.
Anita, doesn't it make you want to go back into your DMs and
Ciru.
respond to everyone?
How many times have I called your name?
3 times.
Let me tell you, you will scroll through that Facebook inbox of yours right now. Just go through all the first you ask, but una betting is sport pesa? Do you bet? Do you bet? Do you bet? Just risking. But anyway, it's not a good look to some extent because we make it look like a guy is only an eligible bachelor if he has money. But so girls, don't think in those lines. But while we're still joking about it, we need to scroll through our Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, every DM. You're like, who looks like they stand a chance to be the next millionaire, multi-millionaire for that matter?
Multi-millionaire. Kwanza we Njugush, I know you slid into someone's DMs and you're successful because now you're a married man. Uli succeed. Lakini, what if you hit the jackpot? What would you do to all those other chicks that ignored you before you hit now the married
You slap
jackpot?
all of them
Ningesema-
after jioni like he said.
Ungesema nini?
Ningesema kila mtu akuje na kopi. Unajua hizo DM ziko mahali. Kila mtu wa print out akuje na kopi. Kama ni mambo, wewe enda. Unajua kuna watu una DM anakupatia mabrutics. Pale WhatsApp unakula brutics. Tafadhali ladies, at least for sports betting imetupatia ile. Unajua sasa mwanaume ukisimama, huwezi jua the next millionaire atakuwa nani. So nikikudm tafadhali dada, jibu hata kama hujisikii. You just never know about kesho.
You never know about tomorrow.
Kwa sababu that guy penye yako, he can afford for 1 year. Kila siku ananunua gari ya 600,000 shillings.
Hey, lakini
You've really done much. This guy is not joking.
Yaani hii kitu imenisumbua akili. Abisai anitafuta tusaidia kutumia hiyo pesa.
Ati msaidiane. Abisai usitafute Njugush tafadhali. Niambie Butita.
Anzeni kuchukua DM zetu seriously. Nimekuwa natuma ma DM tangu Monday. I think hii experience inafaa kuonyesha the meaning of DM. Dating millionaires. Kweli kina hii kitu. Unaweza poteza millionaire wewe.
That time she's there still asking the current bae for money to go to the salon.
Wait, let me
Meanwhile,
ask you,
there's a guy you're
is that
ignoring
guy
in the
married,
DMs.
or is he dating?
Well, they weren't dating. He was just sliding in to try his luck. friend.
Oh, right now, he doesn't even have to try, I'm sure. There's mamas, they're looking for his house. He doesn't need to look for Karo. Karo is on the hunt for him. You know what I mean?
He's looking for Johnny.
Yani huyo mtu girlfriend yake kama angekuwa akiitisha pesa ya salon anawekewa salon, akiitisha pesa ya nywele ananunuliwa farasi akajitengenezea pesa. That's how rich that guy is.
Energy katakati hiyo mkia.
Ati akachangamkie juu hiyo mkia farasi.
Apewe kichana ende tu akichananga,
If she wants Indian hair, she just goes to India and gets it herself.
Yeah, you bought a ticket from India, wenda tu direct tujinunulie kambalas. By the way, now that we are all here talking about, dollar millionaires, you please realize that is not you. You're still where the economy left you. Because remember last week, no, I'm talking about, I'm talking all of us. Sisi wote as individuals and generally. Because last week, the hashtag cost of living KE was trending because as everyone knows, the price of basic commodities has gone all the way up. Now, of course, on Monday, Deputy President William Ruto checked in with this post, this one right here on your screen, where he says we are working to stabilize prices of essential commodities which have soared because of external factors. Suffice it to say, he was almost eaten alive. Friends, what was your reaction to this tweet, Njugush? Venye maziwa sijui ni 80 bob.
Hii kitu iliniuma sana sababu unajua Ruto cannot know the root of all this. Hii kitu imetumiza sana na unajua mtu wako na pesa hasikii. Kila kitu imepanda bei. Sukari imepanda bei. Sasa ndio upande gari ya kwenda kawa sukari. Uniambie kama hautalipa nini. Kila kitu imepanda bei na tunaumia sana. So mtu akisema ni external, hata kama ni external hatuwezi sikia sababu kama hatuna pesa. Ndio ukuwe nikao uko na pesa, the only thing you can do ni kuvaa vitu checked.
That's the closest we'll come to a check.
Imagine.
Check.
Wait, Anita is complaining that she's not feeling this pinch, but apparently other people are.
Hiya, what are you trying to do, Ciru? When last time I spoke to you was when?
Anita
Where?
is rich.
Don't even try.
When was the last time you drank milk,
trying
Anita?
to demonize me here.
Anita,
but
when did you
what
drink
I have
milk?
to say about it won't help either.
When did you
Because,
drink milk?
huh?
When was the last time you drank milk, Anita?
3 minutes ago.
See?
I was having tea at the reception.
Where? 3 minutes ago.
No, because you see, they give us milk here because they take care of us, so they need us to come and be lively on television. Nyumbani hatujakunywa maziwa miaka na miaka. But reality is, external factors really do affect the price of commodities here. So as much as everybody got angry, that is the reality of the matter. However, there are internal factors that affect it as well, but this is how I view it. We want to move from being a third world country to a developed country. You cannot be in a developed country and the prices of commodities remain the way they were when you were still in the third world category. So we're trying to get somewhere. For us to get there, this is the reason why when you travel and you visit some of these other countries, you're like, hiya, do you know how expensive everything there is? Even bread is not the way it is here. Let's be grateful we live in Kenya. But we're trying to get to where they are. And for us to get there, the prices have to go up. We cannot be happy about it. So what we can do is try and create a situation in our economy where as much as the commodity prices are going up, we are also earning the kind of money that can allow us to afford to buy those things.
There we go.
You know, but you can't be mad that your economy is growing and prices are going up. I understand you're angry because your salary hasn't. Mine hasn't changed for years. I'm sure yours hasn't either.
No.
And we may need something to come about which will cause that to change so we can afford these things. But to be a developed country, prices must go up. External factors will affect it. So will internal factors. So don't, musimwatak kabisa kabisa. I mean, you just kind of need to look at it in a 360 kind of view.
Yeah, there we go. Now, that's it from economics professor Anita Nderu. Let's go on to Butita. Butita is the kind of guy. Butita is the kind of guy who hollers at people at we niko na unga kwa hao kujeni na madem. That's kina Butita. Ebu tuambieni.
Hii kitu by the way ni personal. Kwanza ni explainieni external factors ni nini?
Si nyinyi.
For example, the price of the dollar affects what happens here.
Yeah,
Dollar
price of oil. Yeah.
Yes, there's something called import taxes.
Exactly.
You're the people who are just attacking people on Twitter and you don't ask yourself some of these questions. Research. Google is your friend.
Hey, okay, umeambiwa. Butisha sawa ukimaliza kuresearch lakini
huyu mtu ametumwa na serikali huyu. Anita.
Mimi.
Umetumwa na serikali.
Njugush. Mimi. Me? How? Don't even try.
Anita is that meme right now, this one.
You know? Me? No. I'm one of those people who don't like to just jump at a situation without asking a lot of questions. So I asked a lot of questions, I was given different views, and that's how I came to this conclusion. I didn't just see, hiya, how dare he say that? Does he know the price of milk? And then I start shouting.
All right, Butita, niambie venye iko personal.
Si maziwa bado ni 8 kwenyu. Kuna difference.
But that's the thing. At least I understand why it's the price it is. You're angry na uelewi.
No, maziwa imepanda, tukubali maziwa imepanda na unga imepanda. Hizo ni vitu mbili tunajua. Sasa hata ukibiwa simu na maziwa unachukua abstract mbili. Moja ya maziwa na nyingine ya simu.
But you see the reason it's because those are commodities those are items we use a lot. That's why we notice the prices going up really quickly. Yeah. There's so many other things in the supermarket you will not believe how expensive they are now compared to 3 to 5 years ago.
But they're basic commodities. Okay, now as we go,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, those are things we use often. That's why it's really umaying us. But reality is almost everything we used to buy 3 to 5 years ago is not the same price now.
Absolutely. Now, as we go into the break, I have to say, well, hold on, guys. I have to go into a break. But as we go into that break, I have to just say I'm really sorry for Anita's mentions right now. Because they'll be
I don't even want Twitter. I'm not retweeting anyone.
Anyway, let's go into the break. We'll be right back with TTTT. Don't go away. Welcome back to The Trend. I'm looking through your Twitter and I saw you leave my kitenge alone. Yes, hosting this show, the requirement is wearing a kitenge. Now that that's out of the way, let's go through some of your tweets. At Sami Rankin amesema, lol, nimeona Njugush nikaanza tu kucheka. Yeah, me and me too, bruh. You and me both, because even me, Njugush walked into the building and just started laughing. Then, of course, Anita Nderu's fans, Team Mafisi. Anita, these are the DMs you should be paying attention to. Kinawa, eh? Like this guy, he looks all nerdy, like cute. I love it. Also, Eddie Butita,
DM. 26. Hey, Max.
What up?
We give shout-outs.
Anita, we're external factors.
Where I've opened my Twitter, I've shut it, I've moved on.
Hey, yes, I'm sure. R.I.P. Anita's mentions. Then, of course, someone has said Ciru Muriuki has replaced, you almost said replaced. Has replaced Larry Mado in Rock Ankara Fabric, aka curtains. Listen, I know that somewhere in South B, there's someone who doesn't have their curtains and angaliwa tu na neighbors. Hakuna shida.
They're watching through the window. Yeah,
they're watching through the window. It's fine, but my jacket is nice. Thank you, Kidosho. Then, of course, this guy says, vile hii sukari imepanda hivi, itabidi serikali imesiaga mashuga mami. Who are you people?
Dai mpaka watoto wako na milk teeth wanakidnapiwa.
Alafu tena mwingi.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm not sure whether I should be laughing or not.
Laughing.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's move right along. Now, there's a bunch of pictures that have been doing the rounds online from Monday showing the State House compound flooded with water. Now, I know people are about to start spreading rumors. Atio, they've moved Ndakaini Dam to the president's residence. Atio, Mara, President Akomaji. Guys, calm down. At least there's something poor about State House. That is poor drainage. Sasa Njugush, you can see you're not suffering by yourself when you're swimming home.
Wacha tuseme, kile kinaendelea pale State House, watu wamechoka. Kama vile tunasema hapa, akina Anita hawezi jua. Lakini ni vizuri State House wajua watu wamechoka. And that's why there is a rebellion. Inaitwa Maji Rebellion. Na lakini hakuna shida. Wacha akina Anita na watu wa State House wabebwe na maji. As long as State House kuna leadership, hawawezi bebwa na maji.
I really hate that.
Hawa wasichana watatukalia hapa. Umesema kitu ya maana.
Hiyo kitu ni ya maana, Butita.
Sana. Wanaume tutasimama pamoja. Njugush.
Yes.
Kwanza unye shida yake kubwa ilikuwa akipigiwa simu hiyo siku. Si unajua gari lazima ipite kwa hiyo maji kwenda kwa gate. Na ndugu yangu Ruto nakata maji sasa hivi. Naendelea kukata maji.
Butita, hiyo uko peke yako.
Mnavaa sasa lakini mnafaa mjue mvua ichaguangi. Mvua inanyesha tu. Haiwezi chagua ati pale ni State House. Haitanyesha hapo. Sasa vitu fanyika saa ingine. Patata si drainage. Unajua hujui hata ni nini. Ni kawaida ya mvua.
I mean,
pale najua
look at that. I mean, look at that, Anita. Like what Butita has said, the rain does not decide where it's going to rain. It's going to rain in State House, and it's going to rain in South
in two parts. First of all, wachaneni na mimi, I feel the pinch of everything.
Marginalized.
No, still. I have to speak. Keep quiet.
No, Anita, that was kind of funny though.
Hiyo ni kali Anita. Wewe Anita na external factors wewe.
It's until my jacket popped open. Thanks.
I am aware there's internal factors as well. Steve Jakarta, I was just pointing out what we were referring to, which was the tweet. I don't feel the pinch, I don't know what. I explained one part of it. I didn't refuse everything else matters. But stop Anita, getting mad at me. I'm suffering like everybody else. And I'm suffering with these floods as well, but ours was caused by those annoying posters put on everybody's walls and gates. And then when primaries were over, guys came and scraped them down and left them on the ground. They were washed into our drainages and they blocked them and they got flooded.
Oh, that's the reason.
That was and I'm still very angry about that. And when I saw what happened at State House, I agree with Eddie, mvua haichagui. So if it's almost rainy season, they clean the drainages. Why do we do this every single rainy season?
I hope you caught something. If you're watching this, I hope you caught this. Anita does not call Butita Butita. She called him Eddie. Eddie, umesikia Eddie?
Unajua na paso na. Unajua mkijua na mtu close, unajua kuna vile mnaitana zile majina.
Ni vizuri aitwe hivyo. Wewe Butita. Waambie ni vizuri uitwe Eddie, sababu ukiitwa vile unaitagwa nyumbani. Niwaambie?
Wewe.
Niwaambie?
Tuko nawe side moja.
Niwaambie?
Sema toboa sibu.
Unajua mimi naitwa Jogona. In short naitwa Njugush. Butita anaitwa Butita. In short ataitwa
Butits.
Sasa si mimi nimesema Butita tuko pamoja. Na zina ubaya, tumeadhirika na bei pamoja.
Sawa Butits. Lakini kwa kina Butits kuko na maziwa saa zote kwa kina Butits.
Hiyo ni Ciru amesema, oi Ciru.
Ciru, that's a good one. So Butita, stop lying to us. You're the internal factors.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Now that Anita spoke about the posters, this is matters election related. And of course, musician Jago was finally awarded the Starehe constituency Jubilee ticket. Now, there's two good things that came out of this. If you lose in the nominations, you have three options. You can either protest, run as an independent, or cry for a ticket. What do you make of this? Let's have a look at this video.
Every day, nikiamka mapema, I had to go convince people Jubilee iko fair na sitanyang'anywa certificate na maina kamanda.
Hey, okay, now let's start with how weeping tarries for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Amen?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Now let's move on.
Umeongea, continue, preach, sister.
I'm wearing my preacher jacket. Tini ya pastor. Come on
Jaguar
now.
wept.
Can you play with me? Anyway, Njugush.
Yes.
Hata wewe na Jono is alia tu sana mpaka upewe.
Wacha nikuambie Jaguar, kitu walitumia ni kurudi kwa neno. Neno linatuambia nililieni nitawasikia. Nitawakaguza machozi yenu. Lakini for him, siwezi blame. Hata Ruto alilia. Everyone mwenye anaandikaga na mkono wa right analia. Uhuru haezi lia, Obama haezi lia. Lakini as long as unaandika na mkono wa kulia.
Mkono wa kulia. There we go. See, I hadn't gotten it. It took me a while. But I got there. Anita, are you okay?
External factors.
Is that Anita's name for today? She's called an external factor. So external factors.
Kenyans don't like being told, what are they called, different stories. They believe what they want to believe. And if you have a different idea of how things work,
alternative
you're accused
facts
of being part of the government.
Kwa Jaguar.
Uko kwa Jaguar Butita,
Eri Jaguar amelia siku moja akapatiwa certificate. Bahati amelia miaka 5. Na bado alipoteza nomination juzi kwa group.
Is that guy your friend? That is so hard.
I'm here destroying the computer. There you guys are cracking me up.
Sio machozi zote zinasikizwa wewe.
But I was actually impressed that after the crying, those guys looked into it and he got it, and the person who had initially beat him is now supporting him. That's called good sportsmanship. I like that.
And by the way, when a commander was like, hey, enyewe ameria, washa tu ni mwashia.
Wacha nipatie huyo kijana ameria miaka, actually one day, you know people normally say I've cried for years and years. He cried one day for like 3 seconds.
Actually,
and then he saw that meme online taka kulia tena when he was talking to the president.
All right, tuendelee kulia kwa break.
Wachaneni na mheshimiwa wewe.
Tuendelee
mheshimiwa anajua unaniona.
Butita alishuka that out alia kama Jaguar. Let's go into a break. We'll be right back with more TTT. Welcome back to The Trend. We've spent the entire break just cracking up at your tweets. I've looked for this one particular tweet and I've considered it. But someone actually said that Butita looks like a capsule, yani antibiotic, yani amoxil. And well, let's look at
It's possible.
Look at his face.
Suraya huruma haitakusaidia.
Butita checking out.
Oh, there you are. We almost couldn't see you for a minute.
Yeah, smile.
Mimi nashindwa vile mnaona hii capsule na muone rungu ya moi hapa kando yangu.
I don't get that one.
Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. All right, let's look at some of your tweets real quick. Someone said, that is JBU. He says, mwambieni Njugush masikio yake yana overlap space amepewa. Lakini you guys are rough. You're rougher than the economy. What the hell, man? Like, what is this? Surely, be kind. It's a Christian thing to do, bana. Then,
ni external factors.
Then, Waithera amesema, sawa, Butita, tumeona uko na iPhone. Hata mimi niliona, but I didn't want to say because I'm a Christian. So let's Waithera say it. Me, I'm a good Christian woman. Mimi sikusema. Lakini tumeona economy haimguzi sana ako na iPhone. All right, let's get on with the rest of the show. And by the way, we have watu's comments fupi calligraph asiwapate hapa, sawa? All right.
We want him to find us here. It's been a while. I have a few questions to ask him myself.
Aya basi, twende kazi.
There have been light rumors moving around.
Where Anita Nderu. Anyway, Game MP Ciru Muriuki is among the political heavyweights who have lost out in their respective party nominations. Now, Ciru in Luo translates to man of the cold. And just like that, the electorate seems to have left him out in the cold. Could this be another way to live up to your name? I don't know. Anyway, after the nomination loss, there are pictures that surfaced online of a guy who looks like Ciru Muriuki roughing up and chasing a young man, and then a story followed that the legislator was on a door-to-door clobbering mission of people who did not vote for him. The MP spoke to Nairobi News via the telephone and denied that he was the individual in the picture. He said as follows, and I quote, "I am aware of the pictures circulating that are purported to be of me. I want to make it clear that the man in the pictures is not me. Whatever these people who did this want to achieve, I don't know." Butita, do you believe Honorable Ciru Muriuki?
Mimi jana najua umesema is game MP.
Yes, game.
Game of Thrones fulani iko hapo basi.
I did not see that one coming.
Mimi niliona hiyo picha at first. Kasema hata kama si yeye, watu wengi wana risk kupigwa saa hii. Kuna watu wamekula pesa za waheshimiwa hapa nje. Mimi nakwambia sasa itabidi ukienda pesa ya mheshimiwa unaenda na mask. Juu ni noma. Akianguka hivi wewe potea.
The thing that shocks me is someone can run that fast in skinny jeans. But anyway, Njugush, tuendelee kazi. Do you believe Ciru Muriuki?
Ciru hata hiyo external factors atambui. Maisha imempeleka. Sababu ile pesa yote alimwaga, alafu anadanganywa atachaguliwa na hachaguliwi. Anaangalia hizo posta anashindwa, ni barua atatuma na hizo posta. So, nafeel uchugu yake. Anaenda akitafuta kama kuna mtu amebakisha kachange.
Anita, do you believe this man?
Whether it is or it isn't, we may never get to know. You know, these days, no matter what you do, you can deny and just say it's Photoshop.
Yeah, haters will say it's Photoshop.
Listen, the next time someone tells you, here's some cash, go vote for me, or here's some cash, make sure I win, just say no. Do what's going to help you so that these internal and external factors don't affect you in the next 5 years. Otherwise, utakuja utafutwe, uchapwe bure. What is the point?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we're on tomorrow.
Unajua mse ni voter. Kwa hivyo tunaweza sema Jakoyo anapiga kura, unajua anajipigia kura.
Aki Butita
Butita, that's a good one.
I'm so sad.
Kura.
Anyway, let's move on to something more disturbing in the least. Now, it is a very sad thing that barely a week after 26 people lost their lives in a bus accident along the Mombasa-Nairobi highway, this bus belonging to Transline Classic was caught on camera driving on the wrong side of the road, oblivious to the danger posed to the passengers, including the oncoming trucks. What do you make of this? Let's take a look. Where? Let me just tell you something, guys. The one thing that makes me wonder is, if you're a passenger in one of these buses, are you quiet? Should you not say something? Njugush, ama unaweza kaa tu hivyo kama unapelekwa hivi.
Hiyo kitu imeni-disgust because I lost a friend due to wrong carnage. Hiyo kitu imeni-disgust. Unachikia bus driver, tumuite Mr. Kamau. Juni bus driver. Sasa Mr. Kamau anafaa ashikwe apatanishwe na midiwo hivi. Ili kwa sababu hiyo ni tabia mbaya sana.
I did not see that one coming.
Ni tabia mbaya, ni mtu kwa miuru.
Yeah, very bad manners. Anita?
I said this the last time we saw this happen on Thika Road, and I'm saying this again. I sincerely hope if you're ever a passenger in a bus or matatu being driven like that, say something. 26 people lost their lives, and then you could have been the 27th moving on of the ones who lose their lives. Are you seeing how fast those trucks are moving?
Yeah, they're not stopping.
They're
so
not.
What happens?
And if they collide, most likely all of you guys are gonna get more injured, or you're gonna die compared to the guy who's gonna be in that truck. So let's be serious. The next time you see this happening, speak up. And also, these drivers, they need to be vetted.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that DLs are now going to be being more digitized or something.
Yeah.
So that way they can scan and they can be able to tell whether you've been involved in madness on the road before or not. Because such people should not be allowed to, should not be entrusted with people's lives, and they should not be allowed to drive cars, buses, let alone bicycles and tricycles.
There we go. Butita, niambie.
Unajua tumeongea watu ushikwa, sengine licenses zinarevokiwa, but hatujaiona msemo mwenye amekuwa labda amepelekwa kotini ama akafungwa tukaonyeshwa example. Ndio madereva wengine waone. Juu sasa after 2 weeks utaona kesi kai tena, utashindwa, tutapiga kelele, the next day utasikia mtu alishikwa, license ya sako ilichukuliwa, but nini ufanyika after hapo? Tunafaa kujua.
But why there was no traffic?
Discipline gani wanapatiwanga ndio ikuwe funzo kwa watu wengine.
Exactly.
Kweli.
Iwe funzo.
Nakubaliana na Anita, hizi sasa ndio. Unaona anaendesha hija barabara, those are the external factors. Bus.
Wachaneni na Anita, let's move on to this story for Nick Salat. Now, KANU Secretary General Nick Salat of the Ndani fame, yet ako nje ya NASA, has hinted at patenting that slogan for commercial use. I wouldn't be shocked if Deputy President William Ruto also decides to patent the kusema na kutenda. Amna namna gani, my friend? Amna namna gani? Njugush, yes. Let's take a look at this story inside Ndani. Do you think that he's being a smart guy by trying to?
Yes. Everybody is using that phrase.
Sarat kile anaangalia, unacheki politics imekuwa market waters. Kiangalia kile midio wanafanya imekuwa hivyo, so he's not sure. Sasa hii kitu inaweza mletea royalties. Akienda akiokota shilingi moja, huyu mtu atatengeneza pesa. Alafu aweke record label, ajiite Niki Sarat. Niki Sarat Records. So nikubaya.
Oh my days, you made my night.
We can end the show now, like.
But I'm totally Ndani with that idea. That's pretty cool. He really absolutely should patent it because he's the one who came up with it, and now everyone uses it. Next thing you know, it'll be in a song. He needs to make money out of this now that he's been left out in the cold.
Akwe Ndani kwa bank, Butita?
Yes.
Hiyo kitu anafanya ni poa. Mimi naweza hata advice watu wengine. Watu kuja na catch phrase, ideas zinatumika sana. Kuna hizi malo za kupatent, kucopyright zenye ziko hadi Kenya. So ukikuja na kitu kachi ni poa unaipatent saa nyingine. Huwezi jua kuna mtu anaweza inunua siku moja kwa product, huwezi jua. So ni poa. learn from Nick mwenyewe.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm wondering? You
imetumika
know how
sana.
they have this thing of turning every catchphrase into a bag of flour. I was waiting for the Ndani one.
na ile tao bao nani atapatend?
Sindio and Njugush. But they're speaking of money and, you know, our neighbors down in Tanzania. They are at it again. This week, Tanzanian President John Magufuli sacked nearly 10,000 civil servants over fake certificates. And not only that, he went ahead to order their salaries withheld. So not only are you sacked, you go home with nothing. And you can ndani kwa poverty. Let's talk about this real quick before we wrap up. Njugush.
Magufuli is on fire.
Kile ningesema hapa Kenya we have more far much more for more much more
For
Ate?
Huko
nimesema
ndani ya Kiingereza
Kenya
sahi.
wakiangalia certificate
Uko
fake tuko na far much more far nyingi kuliko hata Tanzania. Wakikuja Kenya ule amepatiwa hiyo kazi ndiye ataanza kujivuta kabla afute wengine.
Anita, do you have much more far more
More far that I have to say is, it is not a crime not to have a certificate, but it is a crime when you're expected to have certain qualifications and you forge one in order to get the job. So, because the people who don't have certificates and they're doing very well. But
Yeah.
if ever your job requirement is to have certain credentials and you don't have them, just step aside and allow the ones who do to get it, because Wongo, what do they normally say? Thieves have 40 days. Utashikwa tu.
Utashikwa
And they should
tu.
do that audit in Kenya. I'm sure there are very
we'll
many.
be left with 3 civil servants.
Lakini
Butita, Butita, ngoja kwanza Njugush. Butita sema.
It's a nice move by the way. Watu wasikuwe wanaandikwa job na vitu fake. Kuna credibility kwa kazi tukienda hivyo sasa. Magufuli, endelea hivyo kama unanijua, kama unasikia. Na pia na hope countries zingine zitaborrow that.
Sawa antibiotics.
Hapa Kenya shida yetu viongozi wetu wamebridge hata kuliko hizi kampuni za Wachina za barabara.
I mean, in fact, they should. Our leaders, considering they're expected to have some, you should not be allowed to even campaign, even buy, even wish to, if you don't have the qualification.
Exactly. Okay, that's it for TTTT this Friday. So, of course, coming up on the second service of The Trend, we have Calligraph, the man himself, the man, the legend. We have Stony Jiwe, and we have some pretty amazing guys who do 3D makeup. This should be pretty interesting to watch. So stick around and join us at 10 p.m. Thank you so much, Anita, Butita, Njugush. Thank you so much for coming through. Njugush, you have set Twitter on fire. Anita, RIP, your mentions, you know.
Opening Twitter. I'll open it in like 6 weeks.
Now, Butita, I'd say get well soon, lakini you're already an antibiotic. So
Wanadawa.
we will see you at 10. Bye-bye.
Okay.